determined hungry guy, Mendoza. And Mendoza, right? Brian Mendoza. I'm gonna say it like this. Fundora should be the favorite, but I'm putting Fundora on upset alert. I'm putting him straight on upset alert because, you know, I just think Mendoza, this fight's happened at the right time. You know, he's shown improvements, and this is a guy that works insanely hard. Not like hard. I'm talking about insanely hard in the gym, disciplined. I've seen it myself, so I just think this fight's gonna be better than people realize, and we'll see come fight night. But that's not.
It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff.
The untouchable True School Sports Empire. You know the rest. I don't gotta finish the intro. Listen, Brian Mendoza
and the new
Sebastian Fundora. We tried. Listen, we tried to tell you about La Bala. I try to warn everybody out there. I said, listen, man, y'all need to stop talking about this motherfucking Sebastian Fundora versus Jermell Charlo, because my bad for cursing. I'm excited right now. Like, y'all gotta stop talking about Fundora versus Charlo, Fundora versus this, Fundora versus Zoo. I say he better just get past Brian Mendoza. He better just pass that test, because if he's not careful, he may end up slumped on the canvas. Go ahead.
And he put him,
talk to him, Johnny.
And he put him on upset alert. Upset alert.
I told you guys a long time ago, we put in Sebastian Fundora on upset alert, and a lot of people laughed at me. They said, no, I had people tell me, oh, well, he lost to Jesus Ramos. He lost to some 10-2 guy like years ago. They wrote out Brian Mendoza.
All on short notice. And even this fight was on short notice.
Now, listen. He's Brian said it best, right? And we'll get to the fight in a second, but Brian said it best. A year ago at this time, he was a swing bout. You know, not a lot of people were checking for him. Now he's fighting Fundora as the B-side. They brought him in to lose, and he sent Sebastian Fundora right to the Shadow Realm. He sent him right back to the undercard. He got him right the hell up out of here. You know, he got Samson Lukowicz stunned ringside. So shout out to him. But just to recap the fight and come down from the emotions a little bit, it was a good fight. I thought the Showtime commentary was very biased. I thought they ignored a lot of the good work that Brian was doing boxing with the setups. I thought they ignored his pot shots to the body. I thought they ignored his overhand rights that were at times scoring. And anytime Fundora began to come forward and just let his hands go, they were acknowledging that. And it seems like the judges acknowledged that because the final scorecards, I think, at the time of the stoppage were like 2 of the judges had a 60-54. So some of these judges had a shutout for Fundora, which, you know, I might need to hand them these because clearly the eyeballs or the glasses don't have the right prescription, because it wasn't no 6-0 fight. I thought it was pretty nip and tuck. I thought Brian did a great job boxing and moving. I thought Fundora did a great job with at times, you know, when he got Brian to stop moving around. But, you know, he was slick. He was defensively sound. And I thought Ismail Salas, the professor, drew a great game plan, and that's what led to the ultimate knockout in the 7th round. So, listen, it's Brian Mendoza's world. You know, Albuquerque. You know, you got another one. This is the same city that produced the likes of Angelo Leo, Danny O'Mero, Johnny Tapia. Who else? Albuquerque. Shout out to Shariah, Pueblo Rico. Where you at? Bob Foster, Holly Holm. You know, New Mexico stand up. The whole New Mexico. Austin Trout. All of New Mexico stand up. But listen, Brian's a real player in the division, and I'm so happy for him because, speaking as somebody who, you know, I'm not from Vegas, but I've made the commute to Vegas quite a lot over the last, 2 years and some change. And every time I go to the Salas gym, every time I go there, I keep telling you guys this. You don't listen to me. You think I'm just talking out of my ass. Every time I go there, Brian is there putting in that work. John, by the way,
that should show you guys to just stay consistent in everything you do. Because in whatever you do, if you stay consistent, yeah, you can get knocked down. But if you keep pushing, you'll get to where you need to get to.
That's it. Brian Mendoza should be an example to all fighters out there.
And all these fights that he took is on short notice. Yeah. Give the kid a big fight and give him a full camp.
Give him a full camp because, you know, he beat Rosario. And it's crazy because when he beat Rosario, everyone wanted to downplay the win. Oh, well, Rosario is this and Rosario is that one. What you going to say now? What you going to say now about Fundora? You going to say he wasn't good? You going to say he wasn't shit? Like, no. Fundora was a top guy. You know, a lot of guys didn't want to fight him. Tony Harrison ran to another country not fight him, to go fight Tim Tszyu. So, come on. Like, Like, let's give the guy his credit. He showed you he could box. He showed you he could bang. He showed you could be patient. He did it against biased commentary, short notice, bad judges, and it didn't matter because you know what he did? He did what we asked fighters to do so many times, which is take the fight out of the judge's hands. And he sent Sebastian Fundora straight to the shadow realm, right back to the undercard. Brian Mendoza's here, baby. I'm gassed. I'm happy because, you know, this is a guy like he said, like he was on swing bouts. A lot of people wasn't checking for him. And all I ever heard from the media was talk about Fundora this and Fundora that and Lubin. And like, I've been thinking to myself for a long time watching Brian just steadily improve in the gym. Like, he's probably one of the better fighters at 54. He just needs to win one of these big fights, and he just needs to keep working, and he's done that. So now it's like, what's next for him? What's next for him? You know, there's a lot of big fights in the division. You know, Jamel Charlo's getting injured left and right, but Brian made his case very clear. He said, listen, I'm the easiest fight to make in this division. I'm the short notice king. Now, I think he don't need to do short notice because he's done enough of that, right? But like, Brian Mendoza definitely deserves an opportunity. I don't know if we'll get it against Charlo. Well, listen, if he can't get Charlo, okay. If he can't get Tim Tszyu because they got to fight, cool. Brian Castaño is a good fight. Why not him? Well, Johnny, what's some other fights of Brian? What do you think of other good fights of Brian at 54?
You could get Charlo, Brian Castaño. You get Tony Harrison.
Tony Harrison, listen.
You get Tim Tszyu.
Tim Tszyu, listen. There's good fights out there for him. And I think tonight, if you weren't paying, if the Rosario fight, listen, if the Jason Rosario fight, former 154-pound unified champion, if that wasn't enough to wake you up, this should wake you up. And you know what?
Maybe even Lubin again.
Maybe Lubin. And a lot of people were shitting on Brian going into the fight because he lost Jesus Ramos. Now, hey, how many days or weeks notice was that, Johnny? What was that like?
Few weeks notice.
Few weeks notice. It was on short notice. And Jesus Ramos, let's not get it twisted. He's a damn good fighter. Like,
and that was his first fight in 154 pounds because he moved up a division. So that was his first fight.
Exactly. So he was acclimating to a new division, taking on a guy in Ramos who's a behemoth. But now I think that'd be a more interesting fight. So if that's a route that PBC wants to go, that'd be a good fight. But you know, look.
And if Fundora wants a rematch, why not take it?
Why not take it? Why not take it? Put that shit in New Mexico. I'm sure the people will come out to him. But listen, Johnny, come over here. I want people to really understand. Because like, I know Brian to a point, but listen, for those that know, for those that don't know, this guy right here, this is the pride and joy of all North Las Vegas. This is my guy, Johnny Cortillo. You guys know he's a big part of the channel. He's also really close to Brian. So Johnny, just talk to him about Brian. Talk to him about like when he got the call. Remember when he got the call? You did the story you told me.
The little I know about Brian is, you know, he's been waiting for the call. I've seen the video when he was asking for a title shot. Where he was like, please give me the shot. And then, you know, he got the shot, and he came out, he showed out, and he became world champion, and I'm proud of him, you know, and I want him to see big fights in the future. I want to see him do big things, and it couldn't happen to a nicer guy, one of the nicest guys in Vegas, one of the nicest guys, consistent guys, and I want to see him get more shots in the future.
Yeah, he's not one of these guys that's out here cheating the sport. He's really like, when I say like he's the hardest working fighter at the Ismail Salas gym. You know, I'm not there every day, but like every time I go there, I never not see Brian there, which means that he's putting in that work. So, I'm overwhelmed with joy because like this sport, being around it a lot can really make the most optimistic person a very negative, somber person. But then every now and then you get a fight like Brian Mendoza. We're really like, there's nothing to hate with the guy. The guy will fight anybody. He's an athletic fighter. He's always constantly improving. This is a guy that picked up boxing at like 16 years old, ladies and gentlemen. This wasn't no guy that started boxing from the age of 5. And it shows you his improvement. It shows you his dedication to the sport. It shows you that he really is what he says he's about. So I'm happy for him, man. And it was a great fight. I thought he was doing a great job the whole night of setting up the big shot, the big left hook, and then the big right hand, and then just knocking out Fundora. And Fundora was never going to get up from that, ever in a million years. So, shout out to him. Shout out to Fundora. I know I've been joking around with Fundora, saying that he got sent back to the undercard. But listen, man, Fundora, you know, this is what happens when you take on fights against guys like Brian Mendoza. This is why you got to take guys serious. And I said this back on Instagram on March 30th. I said, a lot of these people are going to overlook Brian Mendoza, and it's going to be their downfall. And you know, personally, I can't say whether or not Fundora was overlooking Brian Mendoza, but, You know, I guarantee you, if he didn't take him 100% serious, I guarantee you from this point forward, Fundora will take every opponent more serious. But I respect Fundora because he got in the ring and he made the fights happen, and he's always in entertaining fights, and he'll be in entertaining fights for many more years to come and be a player in the 154 division for many years. But listen, tonight belongs to Albuquerque, New Mexico's very own La Bala, Brian Mendoza. This is what boxing's all about. This is what dreams are made of. This should be an example to all fighters that, you know, if you want the fighter that had the amateur background, if you weren't the fighter that you know, had the promoters backing you from the jump, if you weren't the fighter that had everything going in your favor, if you had to fight in the swing belt, if you had to maybe take the fights on short notice, you know, and life and this boxing industry gets you down, let this man be an example that you don't gotta have all those things to have a successful career. He's living proof that if you dedicate yourself to the game and you keep adding to your toolbox, as a fighter, you'll have you'll reap the rewards in due process and due season, and he's done that. So give this man a big fight, pay him well, because every time he fights, and I mean every time he fights, he goes on out there, puts on a great display of boxing, puts on a great show for the fans, and that's ultimately what we want. We want guys that come to knock motherfuckers out, and we want guys that can equally box and show people what boxing's all about. And I think Brian Mendoza's done a great job of that and being a great ambassador for the junior middleweight division and boxing overall. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. But Brian Mendoza knocks down and tumbles the towering Inferno. He takes the O of Sebastian Fundora. Albuquerque, New Mexico, stand the fuck up. Brian Mendoza is here. I ain't even doing outro. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this video, click right here and make sure you subscribe. Much love from sunny South Florida.